One of the Egg Bowls I covered in 1998 was played in Oxford, and there was a head coach by the name of Tommy Tuberville who left during the night to go coach the Auburn Tigers. Well, Lane Kiffin decided not to coach Auburn about 3 years ago, but he's got another decision that is much ballyhooed across college football. Welcome into the Voice of College Football. Appreciate you stopping by in the aftermath of an Egg Bowl victory for the Rebels over the Dogs. 38-19. I would love to focus on the Egg Bowl, the great tradition, the second oldest rivalry in the SEC, and the pride of one of the most hated rivalries across the landscape of college football as the Rebels win it to finish 11-1. But it's Lane Kiffin, and is he going to stay at Ole Miss and coach this playoff team? Is he going to leave for LSU and stay at Ole Miss to coach this playoff team? I highly doubt that. It just doesn't work out logistically, trying to take a team through a playoff and assemble a coaching staff, put together a recruiting class, look at a transfer portal, and all of that at another school. That's a rival, by the way. Or is Lane Kiffin going to head to LSU? It was mentioned during the broadcast that Lane Kiffin says he has peace and happiness where he is. Then why would he leave? All right, let's get to the game, and we can conjecture about Lane Kiffin. Please leave your comments down below whether you think Lane Kiffin should stay at Ole Miss, go to LSU, which is a better job. I think it's pretty clear that Lane Kiffin would not consider LSU if it was not tangibly considered the better job in regards to resources and the ability to win a national championship, although he's got this team in the college football playoff at 11-1, so they will have a 4-game shot to go and win a national championship if he stays. Kewan Lacy might be a back that could win a national championship for sure. 27 carries for $143. He went around the edge and scored a touchdown to make it 7-0. He's an excellent back. Maybe the SEC rushing leader if Missouri's Ahmad Hardy falters in the final game. Mississippi State muffed the opening kickoff after the Rebels touchdown. And so true freshman quarterback Kamario Taylor in his first start had to start with a 7-0 deficit and with the ball at his own 3-yard line. He seems to be the future of the program. Blake Shapen, the Baylor transfer, has been the starter under Jeff Lebby. But Lebby surprised a number of people, not necessarily me. I saw it written on social media that this was some kind of surprise. But I know a number of people have wanted Taylor to start during the latter half of the season when the season got away from Mississippi State. And he steps out onto the field at his own 3-yard line and promptly leads a 97-yard touchdown drive. And he looked pretty amazing. He's a talented player, both with the arm and with the legs. 15 of 31 on the day for 178 out of Macon, Mississippi. So you put together Kamario Taylor and Jeff Lebby's offense. Of course, he once coached offense under Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, and Mississippi State's offensive future should be bright. It's already good. They put up 34 against Tennessee. You can look through the scoring column and the close games that they've played against the likes of some other good teams in the SEC, Texas in particular, Florida. And the Mississippi State offense is little in question going forward. Jeff Lebby's going to have to fix the defense because the defense is atrocious, and you can't be atrocious against Trinidad Chambliss. So in replacing a first-round NFL draft selection in Jackson Dart, all Chambliss has done is lead this team to his best regular season record in the history of the school, or at least the first 11-win season. And there was a graphic posted by ESPN that showed where Chambliss joins Jaden Daniels and Johnny Manziel as the only quarterbacks in SEC history with more than 4 300-yard passing games and 50 rushing yards in games. 23 of 34, 359 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks for Chambliss. Now, he didn't start the first few games of the season. But should he be in the Heisman running? Because Ole Miss was going to win those games anyway against directional type schools, FCS schools, whoever they played in the first few games of the season, which amounted to basically nothing. Just prorated statistics, and you can see what this guy's done. He's been phenomenal. This Ole Miss offense is explosive. They missed a field goal, and that's about all they did wrong in the first half in attaining 310 yards of total offense and leading this football game 21-10 with a late touchdown pass in the corner where they finally worked out some red zone issues, as Lane Kiffin noted at halftime. Asked by the ESPN sideline reporter, I guess there was a scuffle among the players. And again, as I said off the top, this is one of the most heated rivalries in college football. These two programs do not like each other. They're located just about an hour and a half from each other, and the winner of this game owns the state. And much like Alabama, Auburn, Kansas, Kansas State, Oregon, Oregon State, other rivalries we could mention, Georgia, Georgia Tech waging war right now, Florida, Florida State, South Carolina, Clemson, and others, it is huge. And in Mississippi, of course, no professional sports, small state, small population. This means a whole lot. And Lane Kiffin said, our team's playing football. We stay on our sidelines. We just want to play football. We don't want to be fighters. I don't know what happened there. We didn't see it necessarily during the broadcast that I saw. But Ole Miss was by far the better football team. Here, it did get interesting again. It was not a blowout. It was not an annihilation by any stretch. Kamario Taylor led a drive and scored a touchdown with his legs, showed his immense talent in drawing it within 31-19 with 10 minutes left. But then it was Deuce Alexander, 88 yards. The pitch and catch was beautiful. And the explosiveness of Deuce Alexander down the sideline and capping this one off 38-19 was pretty darn impressive. Ole Miss at 11-1. So they will be a college football playoff team, of course. There could be some losses ahead for some other teams ahead of them. They could inch them closer to the top 5. However, they figure to not play in the SEC championship game. Their one loss was to Georgia. Of course, they're going to lose that head-to-head battle in regards to a comparison of a two-way tiebreaker. Now, if Texas A&M wins, they automatically go to the SEC championship game. So we'll see how it plays out between Texas A&M, and then the one-loss teams would be Ole Miss, Alabama in conference, and Georgia, who again has finished the SEC season at 7-1. As I mentioned with Jeff Lebby in Mississippi State, he's kind of past that phase from, wow, he has markedly improved this program, and now they can compete against teams like Texas and Florida and Tennessee and look really impressive and move those games to the wire. Now he has to move it on to, you have to start to win some of those games. They beat Arkansas this year, so 0-8 in the SEC last year, 1-7 this season, 1-15. But Jeff Lebby needs to take the next step, and that next step is going to be Kamario Taylor development, but it's also going to be defense. As for Lane Kiffin, that's, of course, what this is all about right now in terms of the college football universe's attention. I don't know what the man's going to do. I said when this first broke several weeks ago that Lane Kiffin, when Brian Kelly was fired, that most likely Lane Kiffin would take the LSU job. That was my first thought. My second thought, and number 2 in the odds rankings, would be that he would stay at Ole Miss, and number 3, that he would go to Florida. And that doesn't seem to be occurring. It's all about LSU versus Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin needs to make a decision, and Ole Miss's plight in the playoff is going to be hanging in the balance because it could be very difficult to put together a staff, or I don't know what's going to happen. This is uncharted territory that we could be delving into, and it would not be good for those student athletes or Ole Miss football fans, but it would be mighty interesting to see how the committee's going to handle it, but more so how Ole Miss is going to handle it if they, in fact, would have the option of keeping Lane Kiffin to coach the playoffs. But I just don't see how that would work out logistically and trying to do all the things that he would have to do. We're not talking about a 2-team playoff. We're not talking about the BCS era or even the 4-team era where you play on New Year's Eve, then you play approximately 7 or 8 days later. This is a month-long deal. And Lane Kiffin and college football coaches need that time to build a staff and look forward to 2026. Your thoughts down below about Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, Mississippi State as well. Don't forget about the Dogs. They finished at 5-7, missed a bowl game again this season. We catch you each and every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Join the best chat in college football right here